Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
There's an all-new My Opening Line episode of Chemda.
Love it.
Here's the description. Whether it's starring in commercials, acting in voiceover work, entertaining an audience through improv, written sketches, or songs, Catherine Heller is as well...
That's me. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Wow. Self-destructive. This is why my parents don't like me. Okay. Can I splash some water on your face? Can't try to deceive her. I can't see her dancing.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
There's an all-new My Opening Line episode out.
Woot woot.
MyOpeningLine.com. Be subscribed. Here's the description. Whether it's starring in commercials, acting in voiceover work, entertaining an audience through improv, written sketches, or songs, Catherine Heller is as well-rounded an artist as they come.
And Catherine Heller is one of Keith and the Girl favorites. And man, she's all sunshiny and rainbows and wonderness. And when you delve into her past, oh boy.
Well, the description continues, but she's on this show now. So you know you're about to hear about her insane beginnings. This time, the beginnings include an artistically jealous and competitive father. Listen to this. She was in a competition as a kid.
6 years old.
Making this, who could make the smallest kites?
That works.
Right. The kite that flies. Who can make the smallest?
So she took her little 6-year-old hands and she made the smallest kite, only to lose by like one to her parent, to her father.
It's understood she's about to win. And dad goes, last minute entry, me.
6 years old, you're competing with your daughter.
And unrelated, unknowingly eating male ejaculation on stage.
That was this. I still have that in my head. She was such a trooper, and I don't even think you need to be for this. This was a bonkers story.
Enjoy, not the ejaculation, I mean this episode.
So go to myopeningline.com. If you're listening to a podcast right now, wherever you're listening to this, My Opening Line is available for free there too.
And we were on Catherine's show, Tell the Bartender. She hasn't been doing it in a bit, and this is very exciting that it's back. And
we were part of her relaunch.
Chemda and Keith, she wrote, co-host of the Keith and the Girl podcast, were guests on this show years ago. A lot has changed. Chemda spills the tea about a recent divorce and why the relationship of 9 years ended. Then Keith talks about a story unfolding as we speak about his dad, who recently emailed his ex-wife.
And I probably say the word Xerxes here or there.
With her permission, Keith is now responding via email as his ex and is learning, well, a lot about his father. Oh, I sure am.
So go to Tell the Bartender. It's available where all podcasts are available.
Tell the Bartender. All right. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for your album support. I'm Dating Your Mom made it to the top of the charts. We appreciate it. You can get it.
The top of the charts. Keith, you were number one.
It's not a big deal.
Number one.
It's what it is. It's
Congrats.
what it is. Well, thank you. KeithandtheGirl.com/store now has audio and video available from us. Also links that go to iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for getting that. That's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest has been featured on MTV, PBS, performed at Hell Yes Fest. Justin Smith.
What's up, guys? How are you?
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We're so polite. Why are we so polite?
I was going to let this go for another half hour. How long have you been in New York City, Justin?
About 4.5 years.
4.5 years. From Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Wow. Big
Is this what Oklahoma sounds like? Because you don't sound like you're from Oklahoma.
No, well, I mean, I kind of weirdly got, like, I never really had an accent. Even when I lived, compared to, y'all, let's go down to the 7-Eleven and get some sweet. Like I didn't have any of that.
I'm sorry. What were you gonna get at 7-Eleven?
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Yeah.
What did you do on PBS?
There was a documentary about comedy.
Okay.
And this wonderful Emmy nominated. Like I think she's won a few Emmy actually. She put me in this thing about local comedy scenes, and at that point I was just fixing to move to New York.
Right, you were fixing to?
Yeah, fixed. Yeah. I forget people don't know that word, and he's like, yeah, fixing to. What's wrong? Can you not hear what I'm saying? Fixing to. Don't you guys use fixing to?
Is fixing to could be you're dreaming about it or actually going to do it, right? It can be
it's like just basically you're about to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like do you have to have the ticket to be fixing to do something? Or is it like I'm fixing to be a millionaire, but I didn't study anything?
Well, it's a very it's almost like the word It's almost like the word fuck, where it's like it has like a broad. You can kind of use it however you want.
Right.
It's like jazz. You can kind of just put it in wherever you want.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of it. It's like it's kind of like it's also like sign language, where it's like it's very also facial expression. So the type of fixin' that you're getting is like if I'm just looking at you and I'm like, oh, I'm fixing to.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's gonna be a long. But if you're like, I'm fixed, like it's like, oh, that's tomorrow.
Right. Like it depends. Just if somebody says I'm fixing to punch you in the face, they might not really mean it.
Right.
It's all about the context.
I love when these little cultural nuances or little regional things come up, and Keith, in all sincerity, goes, "Explain yourself."
Oh, please keep saying the word "little" in reference to me. I don't ever get to hear that very often.
How big a gentleman are you?
Oh, big
Okay.
big enough for Southwest to go, hey, you want 2 seats on this flight?
Are they
Like,
are they mandating you to have?
No,
two
no,
seats?
no. But I always get my favorite thing is whenever I go to a flight desk, they always have like the new guy. Like I've seen it happen a million times because I fly a bunch, so I know what's happening. They'll get like the new guy. It happens a lot of LaGuardia,
Right.
But they'll be like, all right, they're training a new guy at the desk. And it's like, all right, so you see him, he's a large gentleman, so we're gonna give him like the comfort upgrade. And so they're like, come on,
Right.
and he's like, and they always come up. They're like, sir, can I talk to you for a second? I already know what it is, but I'm just like, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? Am I not gonna get on the flight? Is that what you're telling? He's like, no. It's everything. Just can you come with me? He's like, why do I gotta come with you? Why can't we do it right here? Like it's like.
So they're
So
trying.
they take you to like another room?
No. They just bring me up to the desk and they're like, hey, we noticed that would you like a little extra room to be comfortable?
What? Should I
Yeah.
gain weight?
You gotta eat two more of you. Is that how you would do it? It's not.
I'm sure it's all worth a good nap, an hour a month.
Well, it's a thing that because basically, and this is why Kevin Smith is a god, because Kevin Smith basically incited this whole thing. So, because they kicked him off a flight because he was too big, and they didn't know that he was like, oh, this is the king of comic book nerds and the internet. So he raised hell, and then now there's a point where like if you're a big dude, you can just go and they give you pre-board, and they give you a little slip and you just put it in the seat next to you, and nobody will sit next to you.
What?
And you can be a dick about it. Have you flown Southwest before?
Well,
Yeah.
well, it sounds like you are. You know they're upgrading you in one way or another, and you
Well,
want
I
to
don't always
hassle anyway.
I don't always take it because I'm always trying to be considerate. So on Southwest,
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Consider would be taking it, right? Now it's my fault if I have to sit
Well,
next to you if you're taking up my
If
space.
we're being honest, consider would be why don't you lose 200 pounds? But I always try to sit in the back of the plane because Southwest they board in sections and it's open seating, so you can sit wherever you want.
Ew,
So
what?
yeah, this is how us peasants from Oklahoma do it. You know that's how we fly. But you go to the back of I always go to the back of the plane because nobody likes to sit in the back of the plane, and then I sit next to the window seat. So on every flight that I'm on, if I don't take the seat, the upgrade,
Right.
the seat next to me is the last seat to get filled.
Well, you know what then? You're doing this wrong. I would go in the back and sit in the middle seat. Good luck. Now I have 2 free seats.
But then I'm like this the whole flight.
No one's going to sit next to
And I
you.
just look like a bouncer outside of a martini bar. It's like I used to work at a Roadhouse bar, and then I tore my rotator cuff.
Do you weigh yours? I get nervous weighing myself because it mentally messes with me. Do you weigh yourself ever?
Well, if I ever can find a scale, if I'm ever by a recycling center, then I wander in. But
Well, you have to go to the doctor and they weigh you, right?
yeah, I mean, well, also those scales only go to 300 pounds. So, and I'm easily above that.
Are you from a big family?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like they were always big, but I was like, I'm kind of like, listen, I'm gonna take my dreams. I graduated college. Nobody in my family graduated college. I'm moving to New York. I'm chasing my dream. Nobody chased their dream in my family. So I was like, well, with the weight thing, like, why don't I just be better than all of them also? Like, I'm just like, I'm doing this, so why not go all the way?
Right. Did they give you hassle over it, as if you don't know?
Sometimes I do, but I think I carry it well. I'm not uncomfortable, like, because you see big people and they just like they waddle and they're just like. And it's like it's so uncomfortable, and I feel like if any of my friends listen, it's like, oh, bro, we're uncomfortable. Like you're when we watch you walk up subway steps, we're like, oh man, should we push him? Like, should we give him a little boost or whatever? No, but I see people that like when I go to like if I ever do a casino, and a lot of times when you do a casino gig, they give you like buffet tickets. and you go in there, and you're just like, oh man, this is, dude, I'm a big dude, but this is so sad. Like,
Right.
like the dude that sweats for like no reason, like he's sweating while he's talking, you know, like that dude. Like, I was like, just as long as I'm not that dude, I'm
I
good.
love how we always have space to judge everyone else harder.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got real excited about that one.
Where are they? Bring them out. Yes.
But I'm also aware. Like, I know all the stuff that goes on. Like, I think that's the beauty of being a comic, is like I'm hyper aware of everything. So people are like, I kind of feel like this is like, take what you feel, and then I magnify that times 10, and I'm aware of all of it.
Right. Have you been on those puddle jumpers, the very small planes? And when I go on, they
ask you about your weight so they can balance the airplane, right?
They make the plane even.
Yeah.
Now, do you recognize that? And it's like, well, you're not going to show me you're putting 3 people on my left, you know? Do you ever deal with that? And
I haven't been on a small plane in a long time.
Okay.
I think maybe since I was in high school. So most of the planes I go, like, the good thing about Southwest is they're very, like, everything's a 737, and like it's very like.
What's your dating life like?
I mean,
Okay, that's a
well,
lot.
no. I actually just got divorced. So.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's right.
how long was the marriage?
Marriage is stupid, right?
Does Xerxes have a?
The Xerxes is the new one. So
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
It's like, does have somebody like, oh, like I also like I have a sister. It's like, oh, we'll bounce back together. You know, like.
Actually, yeah, he was going through a divorce too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, find someone going through the same shit.
Of course.
Can I ask how long was your marriage?
9 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And when
The marriage was 9 years, or the whole relationship?
The whole relationship was 9
Me
years.
too.
Yeah.
What else do we have in common? Xerxes, you're done.
Yeah. No, it was. I think that's the weird thing about my relationship is that it was great. It was my ex is like this amazing person, and she was great. She supported me and all this stuff. But we just got to a point where I was here. I wanted to do comedy here.
in New York, she's in Oklahoma.
And
that's important for a marriage, right? To be in the same city.
Well, no. She was here, but she hated it here. And she was so far from her family. She's very family oriented and stuff. And
That's what broke you guys up?
yeah, essentially it was just me wanting to be a comedian and be like not just be because like I could have moved to Oklahoma and just been like a road guy and probably could have made it work, but I was just like, no, I don't want to be just a comic. I want to be one of the best comics in the world.
This is hard.
Yeah.
When did you guys break up?
She moved back and we were separated for a good long while. And
So when she moved back, you guys still had hope that this could work?
yeah, we were just like, let's maybe like separate, like we just see, and we were trying to make it work. And
You must be heartbroken.
It's gonna be tough. I'd do anything for you. Okay, move back.
Yeah.
No. I didn't know you'd jump right to
Right.
the one thing I won't do.
Well, we can pay the bills. We got love between us. Sex is going great. Our relationship is wonderful. But I want to live here and you want to live there. Holy shit, that's hard.
It's real brutal, and I feel she's been great, like, because I know so many people that when they get divorced, especially one party is very like vindictive and it's like I'm gonna with lawyers and stuff, like it just, and she was like amazing. She was just like, listen, you do your thing and I support you. And
How old are you? That it's been 9 years.
33.
33.
I
I don't have a calculator, but that's pretty young, right?
Yeah. We got married right out of college.
Okay.
So we didn't go to the same college, but we were in the college in the same town.
Right.
So I went to a conservative Christian college,
Ugh,
and then
why? Sure.
Well, I was actually studying to be a preacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, comedy, right?
Yeah. Well, there's Kennison and Hicks were both super religious dudes, and Kennison was going to be a pastor.
What kind of preacher did you want to be?
First of all, I grew up in like a non-denominational church, so it was like we were kind of like the cool kids, on the block. I was like,
Oh, you
I don't
think
know, like
so?
we can, well, like no, like we preach in jeans with holes in them, like we're that kind of guy. Like we're the church that's outside the high school smoking a cigarette with a leather jacket, like that's kind of the gig that we went for.
The church is so good. Like any cult that will be like, oh, you don't like it this way. Didn't the army do that? The army was like, oh, you want to be an actor? We got an actor section here. Absolutely.
course.
Come here. We'll help you figure out your dreams.
Did you realize maybe I just want to be a preacher because I like performing? Period.
No, I mean I was in church for the longest time, and I had a gift of being an orator. So I was like, anytime I get in front of people, people really like connected, which is funny because like I look back for as long as I can remember that everything in my life was pointing to comedy. I didn't know it though. I had no idea.
Like it's hilarious to believe in God.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it was more like the connection that I'd have with people and how I could make them laugh and I could disarm them. Because sitting in a church, no matter how cool it is, no matter how, like life churchy, mega churchy, like laser light, kind of like how cool you make it, it's still church.
Right.
Like it's still like, oh man, there's a lot of guilt in this. Like,
do you still go to church?
No, I haven't been for 4 or 5 years.
Do you still go to Jesus?
No.
Are you atheist or agnostic now?
Agnostic. I don't hate people that believe in it, but it's just I saw the hustle. Because I remember I was in a class in my senior year, and I saw they were basically telling you how youth ministry makes the church money. Because kids don't have money,
right.
And basically there's a long drawn out process to it. But basically, it's you get the kids to behave better, and then the parents are happy that their kids aren't out running the streets doing drugs. Their grades are improving, and so then you get the kids to be like invite the parents to church, and the parents get hit with the pitch.
Sure,
hit that 10%. Hit the Jesus Patreon, and
by the way, how much pressure is it to make sure you're at whatever level you want to be at as a comedian, because your ex is going to see this? Like, to me,
Keith always gauges relationships by how much revenge, but like not
revenge.
Not revenge, just thought revenge.
I think my ex would be extra angry, being like, "Oh look, you left me and you didn't make your goal." Whereas,
like it would be good if he made his goal because it's like, okay, that's why we broke up.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I feel different. I don't feel like there's any spite to it. I feel like if nothing else, I feel like I owe it to her.
Right.
Because like we like I said, we were really good together.
That's perfect because really comedy needs more pressure about making it.
It's human nature.
I'll tell you what though, like it's 50-50 for your marriage to fail. It's like 80-20 for you to make it in comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
You like good odds.
I really do. I like hitting on 18 is what I'm saying. I really like it.
We had the superintendent of this building was in this room just before the show started, and we were showing him a leak in one of the rooms. And so he notices other things in the studio that can use fixing up. Fix it up.
So I get worried about the landlord because every time I ask for something, we try not to bother anybody. Like, just forget that we're here.
Right.
We're just more people paying your rent on time. No worries beyond that. So I hate asking for things, but now there's a leak. And then he goes, well, this bathroom needs to be fixed. And I said, I meant to check my contract. And he starts laughing. He's like, contract? I'm like, okay, well, I have a lease. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is overdue and it should be part of maintenance. We've been here for 7 years. I was like, is he going to give me hassle if you're going to tell him that this needs to be fixed?
Is the landlord going to give hassle?
Yeah. And the super goes, he's a Jew. So he doesn't like to do these kinds of things.
And then what do you have to do? Because you don't want hassle. And you're like, I hear you, Jew.
Basically, I'm like, because I go, oh, have I stopped looking Jewish to people?
Right.
Like, he's from Ireland. And every Christmas and Easter, he gives me one of those sparkly gifts and goes, Happy Easter.
Like
and
what?
I'm like, not gifts, GIFs.
Oh,
He texts me.
he texts you one of those stickers.
Yeah, with the glitter and the nonsense.
Oh, wow.
And is like, hope you're having the best Easter. I'm like, what? Have you never met a Jew? Right. I know I'm not a Jew anymore, but I'm also not a Christian. And
he's thinking you don't mean it. Happy Easter.
I think he's thinking who wouldn't be? I mean, only the landlord is Jewish because he owns the land, and you know how Jews are.
My dad would be, you can be Jewish and still love Jesus. You're not insane. You're Jewish.
But to feel so comfortable saying that to me, and then Andrea reminded us that. He said something about weed and how it's the gateway drug. How old are you? And then she goes, yeah, but a lot of people smoke weed, and he almost lost his shit about the dangers of society.
Yeah, and now what are you doing in this apartment? Are you smoking when I'm not looking? No, it's never. Well, Andrew's young. It's never worth talking to these people.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because you feel like you're selling yourself out, just going with it. Yeah, I hear you, a Jew.
Right.
You know, but I don't want hassle. It's a studio in the apartment. I'm Jewish. Who cares?
The thing is he's not listening to anything I'm saying.
Right.
So all my words are falling, and I need to get him out of here because it was just during mic check that he decided to show up. So, and he's so nosy. You can just tell he's nosy. He thinks he's like, oh, let me look around to see what other paint job. And I'm like, you're looking at the articles on our wall that, like, you know, Mademoiselle has our picture in it, and you're trying to read it super fast, but you know you can't. And then he turns to the picture.
You know, because you're Irish.
Yeah, he's just being all kinds of nosy. I'm like, okay, so I'll see you later. And he's like moseying out. This apartment is tiny.
Right.
It took him 5 minutes to walk from one end to another. Like, oh, let me just. I'm like, let you just nothing.
Just so you know, our guests could walk out of this apartment faster than you. So.
Yeah, I really think that if we put him on mic, he would be thrilled.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you got to be careful what's going to come out of his mouth. You know, Justin brought this up when because he was able to see the superintendent, and he goes, you know what? There's something with the number of buttons that these old school guys have unbuttoned. The more racist they are, almost like each button is a different race. The top one's blacks.
Right.
Goodbye, blacks. The next one's Jews.
Right.
No Jews today. This guy's down to 3-4 races.
I mean, you got to think you're the second button. That's something, right?
That's funny because now I'm remembering my dad, and he liked V-neck shirts and open buttons.
Yeah.
He gets hot pretty fast.
Well, you got to
but-
then write it on your shirt.
But here's the
I'm
thing,
not
if-
racist. I'm hot.
if you're wearing an undershirt, you're fine. It's just the guys that wear the unbuttoned, they're like, no, I'm gonna let the hamburger meat like hang out. Like, I'm gonna make sure that you know how like my gray hair to dark hair situation. I want you to know what that's like.
I don't know how you see. We're in Astoria. How could you decide what everyone's background is so quickly that you can just call someone a Jew?
Well, okay, what am I going to do? Call the Library of Congress? I got to make an assumption.
And plus, you know how Jews are.
Right.
I don't get that a lot. I know, Keith, you do because you're like white, like no, like there's no ambiguous
Thank you.
aspect to you.
Yes.
Yes. Feel free to undo your buttons. You'll be fine. But I don't usually get that people just being racist with me.
Sure.
Because I think it's too ambiguous for like super racist. Because
Yeah.
like, I don't know, your hair is a little.
Well, he's the superintendent, so he probably lives in this building, so he's comfortable. You're in his
Of
house.
course, yeah.
You guys are in his house right now. And yeah, we're just spilling the dirt. I saw that there's a town in Massachusetts called Baintree. And the police this is a true story. They put out social media telling people, hey, look, it is so hot right now. Don't commit crimes over the weekend. There's a massive heat wave. We really don't want to bother. I think fines should be doubled, you know? It is too hot. I'm sitting in my own swamp.
Well, it was funny. Last night I was in Providence, and I smoke cigars a lot, so I go to cigar lounges.
Okay.
And I can always tell.
Why? Can I please?
What?
And you know, I know fully respectable, lovely people, Wally, for example, who love cigars, but no one has been able to explain to me why. You're not inhaling, you're putting smoke in your mouth, and then you're exiting, and it's usually done with douchebags.
Right.
Please tell me the appeal.
Well, the douchebag thing is out of my control. I wrote a letter to the editor, and there's nothing I can do. I also agree. Like, I also hate it because of who, like, you end up being around certain people. But
I feel like everyone should have this accent. Like, how's your week?
Yeah.
See?
No, I think the one good thing, because like I do it a lot on the road, and one of the beautiful things about smoking cigars, almost like hookah, in a sense, is like it's very communal. So when you sit down at a place and you light it, like you can't just smoke for like a cigarette where it's like you take like 4 drags and you're like, and flick it, you're done. You're there for an hour. So it's almost a really cool thing where it's like if you like I've sat down with people that I totally disagree with and I borderline hate when I start talking to them, but then it forces you to find some kind of commonality with
Okay,
them.
so it's like I thought. It's stupid, but it makes you
Yeah.
friends.
Well,
Okay, kids, learn to smoke.
You know what they used to do? This didn't catch on.
Is smoke weed like normal people?
People would well, that could end fast. People walk around with a timer, and they set the timer and they put it down, and you're like, oh, this guy's going to be around for an hour. Do I want to engage with that? And that didn't really take. So they invented cigars.
Right.
And now you can judge how much they have left if you want to sit and make friends.
But also they have places that like, because like I also smoke in my neighborhood, and I live in a Dominican neighborhood, so they're very like, you choose who you want to sit with, basically. Like you can go to New York, there's places where like, you know, you have to wear like a collar and leather shoes to get in, And there's places where it's just
A
like
collar. Oh my God. I was thinking a dog collar. I'm like, where's this place?
it's an alphabet city.
With chaps and
Where do you live with the Dominicans?
In Inwood, which is like so in Manhattan. Like there's Washington Heights, and then you go above Washington Heights, and there's a little tip right before you get to the Bronx. And that's
Is this the
Inwood.
first time you've met Dominicans since you're from Oklahoma?
Yeah, there's no Dominican. Like in Oklahoma, it's all Mexican. So there's no Puerto Ricans, there's no Dominicans. So when I moved here,
They definitely like to be compared to those two. You know, of all the Browns.
yeah, well, I mean, people don't. I legitimately, I had to learn all this stuff because like you hear people because like when you come here, you learn what people say. So people say, "Oh, like you live in that Puerto Rican neighborhood," and you're like, "Oh, I guess so. I don't know." Like I'm still just trying to figure out how trains work.
Oh, so you thought you were living with a bunch of Mexicans, and then people were like, "No, you live."
Well, no,
with
I knew they weren't Mexican, like because Mexicans have a very, they have.
Stop yourself.
Yeah.
she's setting you up. I'll see people. I don't know what it's like in your neighborhood. I know right here, a big Greek area, and they love to just sit outside. And now that it's over 100 degrees, they're still there complaining about the weather as if they have to be there.
Right.
And I want to tell them you don't have to be there. I'm here because I'm going from a car to a building,
Right.
and that's too long. What are you getting out of it? It's just an excuse to lower another button, I think.
Right.
Puerto Ricans done. That's what I think it is. I don't. There's no other. You don't have to be outside. So why are you doing it? I was inside yesterday, watching somebody I know. She records an album, and it's great. And then it's like the end, but they didn't have the air on enough. And I'm like, thank God it's the end because I'm ready to die. Right. And then so that they can drop checks and not ruin the recording, they go, and now another comic for you that it doesn't matter if you make noise during. And I didn't mean to. And I go, oh.
Because you're just hot.
It's so hot.
Oh, see, I like to usually stay quiet while people are bitching about the heat because all I'll be like is it really that hot? I went bike riding and yes, today I'm sweating and normally I don't, but isn't the sun wonderful? So I usually just shut the fuck up.
Well,
this is not. I was sitting. Alyssa's over for the weekend. Friend from Chicago, and like Xerxes is there, and they're like, as soon as we're done smoking, they're like, let's go into AC. I'm like, does it really feel that hot out here?
Yeah, that's why people don't like Jews. It's just something we don't understand, and we don't like what we don't understand.
But I'll tell you this: when it's the opposite, when it's super cold, I'm like, why are we standing out here? Why is the weather hitting me in the face? Why is it mad at me?
Oh, when I walk in the city and I'm walking down like 5th or 6th Ave downtown, and I walk past like an HM, and they got that AC. Like the AC's so powerful that it'll hit you on the sidewalk. I'm just like, I'm just gonna hang out right here for just. Yeah. I'm just gonna bask in it for a little bit.
Oh, when we were walking home, I stop in every single store, 2 minutes at a time.
Do you know that it's illegal for them to leave their doors open because of how much energy it wastes?
Sure, that makes sense. So anyway, in this place, Baintree, Massachusetts, they say it is straight up hot as soccer balls out there. The social. Now, what they mean is it's hot as balls.
Right.
But they're saying it's hot as soccer balls.
And who is this? Sorry.
This is the police department.
Oh, what the fuck?
Well, temperatures in the area could reach 102 degrees. It'll feel worse, actually 115 degrees with the heat index. And they say committing a crime in this sort of weather is, quote, next level henchman status. Like if you're committing a crime this weekend when it's this hot, you're doing Godfather shit.
Is this what the police, when they're hot, they're just like, come on, guys.
Stay home, blast the AC, binge Stranger Things Season 3, play with the Face app, practice karate in your basement. We will meet again on Monday when it's cooler.
Wow.
Signed, the Popo.
What?
Absolutely true.
I don't like when they're cute, though. I don't like when they think they're cute. I don't like when they're cute.
I mean, if you get shot during the weekend in Baintree, you understand. They warned you. They're like, I'm not saying whose fault it is. I'm just saying we do not want to be out today.
Well, if there's ever a chance to get away from being shot, I mean, like, guns are black.
Right.
So they're absorbing all the heat. So, like, they're hot. It's just like, oh, that taser's not, like, it's yellow. So it's, like, nice and cool, right? Like, maybe heat is what we need to stop shooting people.
The House of Representatives voted to rebuke President Trump for his go back to your country tweets that were targeting 4 non-white congresswomen. And you know what? At first when I heard this, I'm like, well, who cares? This sounds kind of dopey. But
what does it mean? I don't get it.
Nothing in the end, but it's the
that's good. America.
Well, it's the House saying, we just want you to know we condemn the president telling 4 non-white congressmen, never mind 3 were born in America, go back where you came from. You don't like it here, leave. Now, if that couldn't be a clearer dog whistle for racism, I don't know what would be. And so the House is saying, mostly Democrats, we don't approve of this.
So basically, they're saying we frown upon this?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So there's no law. Nothing really is going to happen. But this stuff does affect people. So it is good to know that a big part of our government is saying, no, we recognize this is flat out racist, and we think nothing should surprise us, but this did.
I don't want to take away from this, but I do think it's funny that this is what we're like, yes, we got a little bit, because he's been saying such nonsense, and this feels like it's the first time they collectively were like, can you stop?
240 to 187 are the votes, mostly along party lines. So you have the majority of Republican congresspeople or people in the House saying, we're good with it.
Did they vote on this?
Yeah.
So you had to vote and be like, yeah, he could say shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's how they're voting.
Yes.
Yeah, totally tell people in America to go back to their country.
A portion of the 4-page resolution reads, President Donald Trump's racist comments have legitimized fear and hatred of new Americans and people of color. Trump on Sunday tweeted that progressive Republicans, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ibn Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley should, quote, go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came.
God.
Right. Yes. 3 out of 4, America is the places they have to go back and fix.
What if one was in Cleveland, though? It's like, go back and fix Cleveland.
Right. Republicans tried to sandbag the measure as it was being debated, claiming that calling Trump's comments racist broke a parliamentary rule against calling the president himself a racist.
What?
So their defense is finding some old law that says you're not allowed to call the president a racist. He can be a racist, but you can't call a president a racist.
So at some point, we decided to add to the law that you can't call the president a racist, but we didn't add to the law that he can't be one.
Right.
And you also can't sodomize in 5 states.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm reading about a police officer. This is in Louisiana, who put out a tweet saying Ocasio-Cortez, Charlie Rispoli. And he sent out on Facebook a picture of her. This vile idiot needs a round. And I don't mean the kind she used to serve. She was a bartender.
Like a round of bullets?
Of course, a round of bullets. A round of applause. Charlie Rispoli has been on the Gretna police force since 2005. The department's police chief says it's a disturbing post.
Why does she need to be killed?
Because there was a fake, as if any of it makes sense.
Okay.
Because there was a fake story, a satirical story where Ocasio-Cortez supposedly says we pay soldiers too much. This guy just read the headline, tweeted this out, and going, well, she needs shot.
Well, he needs to not have a job.
I would think that would be the end of your police career.
Yeah.
That you could even rate this as the end of what should be such an important and powerful job.
Considering that most of the people that are police officers were ex-military, or for the most part, like most people that serve in the military come back and they become police officers. So the fact that that's...
Well, that's why he's so mad.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So the cops in New York have been military? I feel like the cops in New York.
Well, I feel like it's more like when you go to like smaller places, like here they grow up in Long Island and they're like, I want to,
That's true. Here they are.
I look really good in a buzz cut, so let's get after it.
Oh man, that's it. You're fired. Minimum, you're fired.
I think so, because I think you think that she needs to die, and you didn't check. Meaning, like, if this was in person, and you would have shot her and asked questions later. Like, you're just so hot-headed.
Oh man, I was reading a story. You know Grimes, the singer?
No. Do you know Grimes, the singer?
I heard of her.
Okay.
And what's the song she sings? It's very trippy music, right? It's like electronic. Genesis. Can you sing a little? Ba-da-ba-da-da. Okay. She has mentioned that she has eliminated all blue light from her vision through an experimental surgery that removes the top film of her eyeball and replaces it with an orange Ultraflex polymer that her and her friend made in a lab this past winter as a means to cure seasonal depression. She's a genius. She dated Elon Musk for a couple months. Maybe people thought she's She was 30, he was 46, and you're just like, he's a millionaire that likes younger women. Turns out she's a genius. She's able to remove blue light from her eyes. What she sees, if she looks at
To
the
clear
ocean,
depression, because somebody said you look blue.
maybe. Well, I'm not going to see any blue. No, you look blue.
Now no one looks blue.
Well, I can't change everyone's eyes. I can change my eyes. So now she puts in more orange in her eyes, and apparently she's happy.
Now everything looks like sunshine.
I don't know. If she looks at an ocean, does she just see the garbage? What if she doesn't even see you see baby poop? Like, you can never be in a pool again.
That's so funny because I Google imaged her and the first image is her with blue hair.
Oh.
I think she's trying to tell us a lot. Also, I don't find 46 and 30 a huge age gap.
I'm fine with that. I didn't realize she was a genius, too.
Yeah. It does feel better that she is a genius if you're going to date Elon Musk.
But 30 years old, though, and that's a little too young to remove colors out of your eyes, I think.
I feel like when you're like an exceptional person like that, like an age is like less of a thing.
Right.
Like you're like because you attract like incredible people and like you can see past a lot of like
but
you
I
see
do
the
think,
potential in things.
I do think that's where you make a mistake in thinking that younger people are ready for some stuff just because they're intellectually ready doesn't mean that they've accumulated enough life situations to deal with, let's say, somebody 20 years their senior. Right. Like, you might be able to know more information than them, but to go through life picks up different things and different skills.
All right, well, I'm taking out my eardrums.
I like it, and I think that she's such a genius that in that song, now I understand all the numbers from pi. So it's 3.14758.
NASA, by the way, it's the 50-year anniversary of us going into landing on the moon. How about that? What'd we get out of that?
I mean, allegedly landed on the moon?
Well, here's the thing. The NASA sold the moon landing tapes to an intern years ago.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
For $218. I'll explain.
Like a copy of it?
In 1976. So we landed on the moon in 69. July 20th, 1969. In 1976, so this is, 5, 6, 7 years later, the space agency unknowingly sold those tapes of original footage from the Apollo 11 lunar mission to a lucky intern who held on to them for decades. He never knew their contents. The 3 surviving videotapes are now up for auction. The starting bid will be $700,000, probably going to go up to millions.
He could have lived with millions. Why did he wait this long?
Well, he still can get it.
Yeah, but how old is he now?
Right. Bidding begins.
Oh, I know how old he has to be. He has to be like 20 years my senior. So 60, about 60.
The tapes were sold by accident to intern Gary George in 1976, who purchased the set unknowingly among 65 boxes of videotapes at a government surplus auction. Again, $218.
Okay, but let's just look at it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
He went to an auction and bought boxes of tapes.
Mm-hmm.
This is what makes people go to antique shows and think they're going to be rich.
You never know. It's Neil Armstrong's first steps on the moon.
I mean, I've been to garage sales and there are people like you put a box of something is like you're like, oh, it's like $1. Like I've had DVDs for sale and they're like, oh, it's like $1 for a DVD, whatever. And he's like, how much for the whole box? You're like, what? Like there could be no deal. Like those could just be cases. And he's like, I like the idea. Like I like the idea of buying all. I like to come in and throw the money down and like I want all those. Give me all those things.
How much did you sell it for? $2?
I don't even remember what it was. It's like you want the whole thing. You don't even know what's in there.
You know what I always thought of? Like I thought garage sales really made you money and like helped you get rid of stuff. And then you go to garage sales and people are literally selling appliances for 25 cents. And I'm like,
right.
The garbage would be more useful than your time right now.
Yeah. More than 30 years later, after George heard NASA was trying to track down the footage for the moon landing's 40th anniversary, 10 years ago, he took the unidentified tapes to a video archivist and viewed them for the first time.
Because there's nowhere to even play that.
He realized he accidentally purchased the sharpest footage of the lunar landing ever recorded.
Or he just said that they are.
Wait, are these VHS tapes?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. That sounds like so, like, that doesn't feel like that's... It feels like something's off about that.
Right?
It's like...
Yes. No, I agree with you because it's like they didn't archive it. They just threw it in a box. And he's deciding after he looked at it, not had it labeled. After he looked at it, he's like, well, that's the first videotape of that.
You know who likes using videotapes? Coppola. Just like a nail in the coffin. I can't wait for all those threads after the Area 51 dies down. It's like, oh yeah, we got this. We're getting backed up on conspiracy theories.
What do we think of that? What's going on with Area 51? Why is it such a secret?
I mean, they just, July 4th, they did Independence Day again. People get excited.
So
What do you mean? Why is it such a secret?
What's going on there? That seems like they never tell us what's going on.
But if they tell us what's going on, aren't they telling the quote enemy what's going on?
Well, we're training. You can be a little specific. You don't gotta. They like that. We're like, what is it? And it's probably nothing. They're testing out new guns. But they like that. They like it. They like us going.
Or maybe that's where iPods come
just
from.
label it something different. You have a giant sign that says Area 51 because that piques our interest. They're just laughing at us.
Yeah, but beyond that sign is a bunch of machine guns also. So it's like, hey, you wanna?
So somebody on Facebook says, hey, let's rush into Area 51. They can't stop all of us. And let's see these fucking aliens.
Some of the dumbest fucking weird, what is it? Are we calling it protesting? What a bad idea. They can't kill all of us. Why do you think that ever?
Well, here's the thing. They can if everybody's stuck together, but everybody doesn't. It's just going to be me like an asshole by myself, a gun in my face.
No, but you think everyone's going to, because I heard of this, and I'm just like, I can't even read on about this because everyone who starts rushing it, right? Mm-hmm. They start hearing machine guns and they keep rushing it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, here's the other part: is you're also dealing with people that do not get a lot of sunlight and they're going to the desert. Like
right.
That's also not going to vote well. Like I feel like the sun is going to kill more people than a gun ever will in that situation.
But with that logic, let's bum rush the White House. Let's
Well,
let's rob a bank together.
Well, if you read history, people have bum rushed the White House and got in, and there's no like group. It's just one guy, and he's like, oh, I'm in, and I'm running around the White House like that. Like the idea that the White House is like so easily like you can just go into if you just time it right.
Well, what happened to that guy?
Who knows?
He's in Area 51 right now, having a conversation. None of your business.
He's like, come get me.
Over 1 million people have signed up to a joke Facebook event calling on users to meet at Area 51, the U.S. Air Force base.
Oh, did somebody
in Nevada.
write maybe on that Facebook invite?
Right.
We'll see.
Right. Fucking asshole.
Hard maybe.
You have my interest. I'll watch I'll read your follow-ups.
What's the weather like that day? Because that affects me.
If you ever wrote maybe on a Facebook, somebody's Facebook question, will you come out to my show? Yes, no, maybe. If you ever wrote maybe, jump off a building. Jump off a fucking building. You
This is
pretentious.
so your pet peeve.
You shit. You shit who made it about you somehow. Guys having a CD release party and you go maybe, I'll see. Well, I'm gonna do it regardless, and maybe I'll be there.
Well, isn't the maybe better than
No.
the yes?
Now what
and
do you-
not showing up?
Yeah, those the choices. Isn't a maybe better than kicking me in the cunt? Maybe. Yeah, I guess so. Would I rather, rape my girlfriend or maybe? Well, I guess maybe. It's an event and it's not that important.
Who hurt you, Keith? Like
These maybe people. I'm telling you who hurt me. That's what the maybe people do. They go, who hurt you? You did. Tell me how many seats I need. Maybe. I like what you do sometimes. Oh, because I put this whole event together with money and food and other people. Oh, well, I'm going to make it about me now. And keep an eye on me. Okay? Maybe I'll be there. You motherfucker.
just like the Roman emperor, just like
Yes. And then when you show up and you go, huh? Huh? I did.
What do you think their maybe is based on? They got to ask a spouse.
No, it's about me. It's subconsciously at best about them. Maybe. You think about it. Oh, you're going to wonder now. Fuck you. And here's the following maybes to people that would buy my album. The site said, if we Naruto run, we can move faster than their bullets. Naruto is a Japanese-inspired running style with your arms outstretched backwards and your heads forward. I guess it's in
Like a cartoon?
In cartoons. Your hands are behind you, your head's forward, and you're just charging like a moron.
I don't think that's faster.
A pinned post on the page attempts to cover its bases, saying, "Hello, U.S. government, this is a joke, and I do not actually intend to go ahead with this plan. I just thought it would be funny and get me in some thumbsy-upsies on the internet." But the event has gained traction, inspiring dozens of memes and jokes. The profile of the situation has risen, and the U.S. Air Force has made it clear that they will stop any kind of attack on Area
Well,
51.
He must be watched now. He's got to be on their list now.
That's brilliant that they said the Air Force, because the Army has they're like, they can't shoot us. It's like, no, but that drone is pretty good.
Right. Area 51, the Air Force says, is an open training range, and we would discourage anyone from trying to come into the area where we train American armed forces. The U.S. Air Force always stands ready to protect America and its assets, prompting us to go, what assets? And them going,
I think they just said, we're always ready to kill a bitch.
Right.
So we discourage you coming onto our property.
Area 51 was officially acknowledged as an Air Force base in 2013. Well, this is what I'm saying. What took so long? You know? All right, fine. It's not UFOs. It's just an Air Force base. Okay. It took you to 2013 to tell me that?
So to 2013, Area 51 was a maybe, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. That's what's upsetting me. You're absolutely right.
Call me maybe.
It's a place we do things. Oh, okay. Well, here's my taxes. You win. It spurred conspiracy theorists as an unidentified flying object, an alien holding place. Oh, by the way, the U.S. government has spent $22 million researching UFOs. So is something happening or not happening?
Well, they're still researching it. Maybe.
Yeah, don't you have to show a return on investment to your shareholders? Me?
Where are your receipts?
Yeah. Like, did you get anything? Are they green? Just go, hey, we're still looking into it, but guess what? They're green.
I like how we have smartphones in our hand. It's like, show me alien technology. Can you please? We were listening to records 15 years ago.
Did you see that new ad for the show, for the trailer for the movie Cats, the Broadway show? It was going to be a movie.
It really looks beautiful. I really like dance. Am I going to go see it? No, I don't.
Did it get you horny?
Horny?
Huh?
Is it supposed to?
I don't know. It's not supposed to. Robin Virginie wrote, "We should find and destroy all time capsules that were ever sent into space and send a new one, but only with the Cats trailer."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, no one's invading us.
But it is beautiful. I can't believe what people can do with their bodies when they dance. The demand on people's bodies, like how flexible they need to be and how strong they are.
I didn't know there were so many cat people.
It is weird because like my sister worked at a dance studio and was a dancer for a long time, and she would go to these conventions, and you have all these like young like they're like ballerinas and they're doing like warm-ups, and you hear these like 14, 15, 16-year-old like they're the prime of their life, right, and their joints are popping like they're 65-year-old war vets. You're like, oh, like that's not a natural sound for a young person. Like that, your ankles and knees shouldn't be making that sound. It's like somebody stepping on packing peanuts. Like it's like weird. You're like, oh, this is.
But how is her pirouette?
Yeah.
It's very weird what they do, and I think we should start demanding that no more point happens.
When you're on your toes?
Yeah.
Oh, it's abuse.
Of course it's abuse. Why do we need you on your toe? Why does that intrigue us so much? Why is that the delicate dance?
My girlfriend, because you're in pain. It's our version of binding feet.
Yeah, really.
You know, my girlfriend took ballet, and she took me to the ballet not too long ago, and I never saw something so decadent and disgusting in all my life. The women, of course, on their pointed toes. You know the pain they're in. You know what these feet look like. And the guys don't have to be, by the way. The guy ballet dancers, they can be on their soles just fine. And there we are in the audience going, oh, that hurt. I know that hurt. And then you clap for the most at the end forever. Hurt themselves the most? You're like, oh, that was a big jump on your toes. We're pleased. I mean, we put in our time, too. Champagne was $25. So, I mean, the arts.
We do the same thing when we watch football, too.
Sure.
When a guy breaks his neck, and he would like, oh man, we're all sad. And then as they're carting him off to an ambulance where they're going to surgically take off all of his equipment, he gives you that thumbs up and you're like, all right, he's fine. It's like, he's not fine.
Right.
He's not fine. You watch 10 years come off of his life.
But also, but in football, at least, we're not pretending to be different kind of animals. We see a hit and we go, oh! In the ballet, you see this damage being done permanently, and you're like, pleased. Very good. She's the best at hurting herself.
Wait, but hold on a second. You chastised me for being a cigar. You like it's super pretentious, but isn't dance like the most pretentious thing?
Oh, I'm admitting it. I think what they do to little girls' feet in order for us to be in awe, like Keith said, like, oh, who's hurting themselves the most? Why are they on toe? There's so many other beautiful ways to dance. I don't think that they need to hurt themselves. They break themselves. They go to the edge. They starve themselves. They are constantly looked at as like, did you gain a pound, lose a pound? All of this stuff is so damaging.
14 years old with laser pointers on you. Get out.
They're smoking cigarettes so that they don't eat.
I gotta tell you, we gotta find a way to transition these because like those feet, ballerina feet, are like they're like sledgehammer. Like, why hasn't there been a ex ballerina turn like field goal kicker in the NFL? Like that's like your feet are sledgehammers. You tell me you can't get 45 yards on Soldier Field?
Picture one of those feet kicking the
Yeah.
balls. All right, I'll do dishes next time. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. They work so hard to be so strong in order to look dainty.
Right.
That's rough.
I feel like you went and saw John Wick 3 just to watch the ballerina scenes.
That I found the ballerina scenes more disturbing. The guys getting knives in the face.
Of course. You're like, man, I can't believe the way they treat people like that.
That Russian bitch is a real shithead.
Well, modern dance has people doing it bare feet, and I love that. I like dancing in bare feet, stage dancing.
Okay, but
They're not
on
towing. They're not towing in bare feet.
No, because you.
No.
Of course not, because you'd vomit. What? I'd like to see ballet, but you can look at the screen and see the X-rays as it's going. It looks like Mortal Kombat. Finish her. It's rude. Everybody should be arrested in there. Disgusting. I said shame on you. I said to everybody, I go shame on all of you.
It is weird that it's a very fancy event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the moves are in French. So
I needed a shirt.
Well, it's also like it's a weird thing that like it's almost like rich people took it over.
yeah.
Well, it's like it feels like a very peasant thing. Like again, like I bring it back to cigar smoking. Cigar, like the best countries in the world that make cigars are poor third world countries where it's like we specialize in cigars and designated hitters. Like those are the two things that we do. And like the fact that like people like the reason there are bans on cigars is because people were wearing white gloves and they didn't want to get their gloves dirty. Like that's why, and you're like, this is fucking disgusting.
Isn't it the same as diamonds? Like most diamonds are blood diamonds. We're actually killing people so we can just see bling on our hands.
Yeah, like
Everything that's hoity-toity needs to be researched and destroyed.
well, it's also weird. Like in most cigar places, they're very.
I don't
like,
really mean that. I'd like to go to a spa, and I don't know. I can't tell if they're
Spa is now the same as blood diamonds?
I don't know. Do they really want to massage me? Are they there for a reason?
And ask you, do you want to be here? There's this person on Twitter goes by the name Jabuki, and he's a funny person and about 366,000 followers. And he changed you keep your at Jabuki is the same, but you can change whatever you want your name to be. So he changed it to Cat's Movie, as if he's the official thing. The logo is his avatar, and the check mark is just like an emoji check mark. It's blue, but it's not the official blue check mark.
Okay.
That he just gave himself. And he started tweeting non-facts about this movie. Including the cats in Cats, parentheses 2019, as if it's more official. The cats in Cats will have realistic spiked penises. So he puts out these tweets. He got banned from Twitter for confusing people.
Wow. Okay, well that's more of a reason than the usual reason.
I guess, but the Cats movie has to go, no, I don't need that out there.
Right.
We're doing our own freaky shit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like you don't go to Cats on opening day and think nobody's going to jerk off all over you, right?
What is happening? Were you turned on by the trailer?
But it's a little furry weirdness. Let's not play dumb.
Oh, I see. I honestly never thought of it that way. But
You're gonna have a bunch of fetish shit going on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember people, when I was in high school, I was in drama, and everybody was like, "This is so good," and I remember being like, because I like weird shit, and I was like, "This is too weird for me."
Right.
This whole thing is like I don't why they're like weird like mob like but it's like a weird I don't get it. And they're like, oh, but the makeup. It's like, yeah. makeup's good in zombie. Like I don't like.
It's good in Zombieland, right?
It's like I don't. It's so weird for you to get like, but people are fanatical about it,
Yeah.
and I just.
It's probably the longest running show. I wouldn't be surprised.
But you know what was bad? What made me think Cats was bad? Because my childhood, I thought, well, Cats is the ultimate in Broadway because that's what I always saw.
Right.
But then once like in my late teens or maybe early 20s, the commercials for Cats. First of all, I'm like, there's a commercial for a Broadway show. It seemed a little weird.
Right.
Second, what they were pushing is, look, we face paint the kids before or after the show, and you're just watching kids getting face painted. And I'm like, well, how good could this show be if you're just
Right.
like, when you just show me scenes and I'd be in awe and just come visit you? Now you're selling me children get face painted. And then I thought, ooh, maybe this is a bad show and people are just starting to recognize it. Andrea, you like musicals and you like Cats as a pet. Like, you are obsessed and you hate this show? It looks creepy. Wow.
It does look creepy.
So creepy.
It looks creepy, and I'm into the Jungle Book. I just saw the new The Lion King, and this Cats movie seems creepy to me.
Really? It
I'm looking at
looks
talking
beautiful.
hyenas, and I'm like, this isn't too much. But these cats, I don't know
They're out of
about.
control.
I was looking online to see. I saw that The Lion King is in 3D, and I go to 3D when there's that option. I'm like, oh, it's making me think of the Jungle Book because it's talking animals, and it's the same director, Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
And I loved that movie, The Jungle Book, and I'm like, well, this has to be good too. And I was curious, was The Jungle Book also in 3D? I couldn't remember, so I start Googling, was Jungle Book? One of the first things that
No.
pops up was Jungle Book based on a true story.
Am I getting this story right? A boy lived in the jungle and kind of
Raised by wolves.
wolves or monkeys or
Raised by wolves, and then he makes friends with a bear, Baloo,
okay,
the bear necessities,
yes.
and a snake tries to seduce him.
Right.
Is this based on a true story? No, this world's worth fighting for. Okay. You know what? Go get Area 51.
Yeah.
Honestly, do ballet if you want. Do whatever you
Right.
want to your feet. Bind them. Don't bind them.
But
We're all gonna die.
the Jungle Book only had 2 songs in it. The Lion King has 56 songs in it. Way too many songs. Way too many songs.
Wait, you saw both?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What?
So I love the Jungle Book.
Oh, okay.
This is more talking animals, so I thought I'd love this. A little too long. But, okay, I like animals talking. Doesn't bother me too much.
What did you like about the Jungle Book?
It's just amazing. Like, it's amazing. What this guy did to talking animals is fucking amazing.
But this usually isn't your response to this kind of stuff. Like, what is it?
But there's
that-
nothing like it.
Well, Favreau is he's an amazing he made us love Robert Downey Jr. Like that's how great of a
Right.
director.
We
he
didn't
is.
find Robert Downey Jr. too egotistical. That's how
Right.
good he was.
Right.
That's a director.
Okay. High praise.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I can't describe it. I thought the Jungle Book, it should win Nobel Prizes. It should win awards in science.
The movie, the book,
the movie,
everything?
the movie.
Okay.
And Lion King is just a weaker story, I think. Maybe that's why I didn't like it so much. It's pretty simple, right? You got these lions. Apparently, they're all
Oh,
fucking each other.
no spoilers because I haven't seen that yet.
The Lion King? Yeah, but it's pretty simple, you know. But I did forget it. I didn't see it since that cartoon. So I'm like, oh, hyenas. That's right. I forgot. But yeah, just a little too long. And then, you know, again, I don't care if it's The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast. You should write on it that there's songs. Right on the poster. Include songs.
I saw a movie over the weekend.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you see?
A new one to me.
Okay.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's like a rom-com about men and their rifles, right?
Okay. Okay.
This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. What you doing there, fat boy? Fat boy. I will spit you out and eat you again, then spit you out again, and then have this guy come eat it. Now, are you a piece of shit? Sir, yes, sir! I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Are you a piece of shit or not? Sir, yes, sir! And what are you? A killing machine, sir! Very good. Do you believe in Jesus? No, sir! You will die by my hands! Yes, sir, I'm afraid to talk, sir. You are too fat to live! It's for like half the movie. And then the guy who needs to be taught how to tie his shoelaces but is staying in the army and is about to be sent to war.
The
right?
fat guy.
Is that what happens in the army? Like here's
they send fat guys to war.
Yeah.
no, but he's
They're the best bullet shields.
He's disturbed. Like he can't tie his own shoelaces. He doesn't know how to button his own button. I saw that scene that you kept talking about with the soap and then hitting him.
Yeah.
That was harsh.
Wow. It's supposed to be harsh.
Yes.
They're trying to get him to wake up.
And surprise, surprise, spoiler, everybody, he kills the drill sergeant. But no one sees it coming with his crazy face and him putting together a rifle right in front of him. Everyone's just dumbfounded and staring. And he's like, this is my rifle. And he looks all the way down with his head, but his eyes are looking up. And it's like, this is the most devilish way I can look. But no, stand there and tell me what to do again. I have a fully... Sir, I need to tell you that there's a lot of bullets in his gun. Fat boy, you better put that gun down. Boom! Oh, he killed the guy who's been insulting him for 2 months. How are we going to deal with this? We're going to kill him too. Then you go to war, and there are guys.
It's a whole nother movie.
Yeah, and there are guys who are like, I'm here in war, but I haven't seen any action. I need to kill some...
Right. You could say different words then.
My goodness.
We need to kill some third buttons.
Yeah. And then they're just, that's what war, they're just walking. Oh my God, they want to save each other's lives like morons. One of them goes in, obviously there's a sniper, right?
Right.
So he's getting shot. He got shot once, and he's obviously yelling in agony, and they're like, we gotta go get him. He's in the middle of a field. No way, we're gonna get shot. It's like, stand down. I will not be listening to you. But that's all you do in the Army is listen to the person who's in command, and now I'm in command. No way, man, I'm going in. You're just leaving him. You're a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but we have to leave people. That's the Army. I'm going in. Oops, I'm shot. I'm dying. Come out here and get me. No, because the same thing will happen to us. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys won't get him. I'm going to go get him. I'll be the third person who's definitely not going to get shot, even though for sure there's a sniper. I'm in the Army. Please don't tell me what to do. That's not the protocol, and we're waiting for backup, and there's a sniper, and we don't know where they're coming from, so you're going to get killed. Fuck you, man! You do have a point. Oh, no! That guy's dead, too! Holy shit! Can you please look out for where the fucking bullet is coming from?
It goes on for another hour.
Yeah. It's like, you're just not a good friend. No, I'm in the fucking Army and we're getting shot at. So 4 people died during that scene for being fucking morons. And it's supposed to be a feelings movie, I think.
With that said, did you like the movie?
It was amazing. It was, I mean, and when they interviewed the boys, like, they don't understand they're on TV and they're in another world in their head. I think it's one of those, obviously, that came out and it's like we really learned even more about war. Like the more we send the cameras there and the more we see what's happening, like you learn about how they're getting PTSD, what they're thinking. A lot of it was they don't even appreciate that we're here. It's like, oh, that's right. That's right. They sold you a bunch of shit. They sold you that you were going to go liberate some people and that they don't appreciate it.
Right.
There's people just shooting at people in a field, all happy, like, I got 152 kills. That's confirmed.
So is this Xerxes that's picking out these movies that you should have seen? Inception?
Every once in a while, Xerxes asks me a question and his jaw drops, and then he tries to fix it.
Like, do you know the color blue?
Like
You're like, no. Well, we should watch
I've
it.
never met Elon Musk, so
Right.
he, for example, he found out that I never ate cereal with milk, and he's like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we got cereal and milk, and he's like, come on, you got to at least figure this out.
So the super knows something about juice. Right. He's not completely out of line. Well, I'd hate to spend the extra $2.50 for a gallon.
Yeah, so you'll see me watching like these, like old referencey movies.
What's next on the list, do you know?
I don't remember, but we did rewatch Big, which is still good.
Okay.
Has, problematic moments, but what an incredible depiction of a 12-year-old boy when they're really still 12 and children.
What's problematic?
There's all kinds of shit. Like, why is he touching her boob?
Well, that's a tough one to say because
I'm
he
sure
is
there
an
would.
adult inside, right?
Totally. Well, no, on the outside. He's not an adult inside.
Oh, right. Then the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and then she watches him at the end turn into a little boy, and I'm like, you should have probably driven away. And then also, like, this kid, his mom thinks he was kidnapped.
Right.
So every once in a while, you see the mom and her storyline. She's just like, he had a birthday. It's like this woman has been.
He's dancing on the piano the whole time.
Yeah,
His mom,
yeah, exactly.
his mom's just drinking
Yeah.
drinking gin in a bathtub with no water in it.
Yeah. And then so at the end, I thought this was so disturbing. You know, he has a suit on because he was in a meeting because he was an adult. And I thought it was cute to depict, you know, obviously it was like for the beauty of it. As he's walking home, he changes on the street into being a kid again. And his suit is big and his shoes are big. I want you to imagine your son has been missing. You know this dude took him because he's been calling you saying he's fine. This adult took him. And now your child enters with a grown man's suit on, including a grown man's underwear on. This is how he sent the child home. And all you know is you're happy to see your son, but when you see the giant underwear on this little boy, you're like, okay. And this boy will never be able to get proper therapy because what's he going to tell the therapist? No, I wasn't touched. I got this incredible apartment that adults would fucking jizz over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay. I mean, that's like a fantasy and you know, you can kind of let go of all that. But I saw Overboard again, which I actually do like the movie, but watching
Kurt
it,
Russell, right?
yeah, it's so fucking disturbing, especially at the end. So here's what happens. She loses her memory. He pretends that she's his wife this whole time because she was a cunt to him, so he wants to get his money back, the money that she owes him. So now
He was a worker on her yacht, right? Or-
yeah. So she's his actual slave. He calls her a slave. Everyone thinks it's hilarious. His 4 children are in on it. And then when she gets her memory back and she goes back, obviously she's teetering in between this world because she fell in love with her rapist, the guy, you know, who enslaved her. And so the butler,
happens.
yeah, of course, the butler in all his wisdom, because these butlers, he was the limo driver, he did her manicure, pedicure, he's just everything. So he goes, you know, this gave you the opportunity. Most people only live their one life. This gave you the opportunity to learn how some other part lives. And it turns out, like, the opportunity? She was goddamn enslaved, tricked, raped, and fell in love with her capturer. But what a great opportunity for you as a woman, a rich woman who could have had any opportunity she ever wanted to because she can generate anything she wants. Good call, everybody. That's a movie we need to remake, and that's what they remade.
I want to watch her watch movies
Right?
now. I do. I want to, like, I want to see her. I want to watch her watch a movie that like has like an amazing like turn in it. Like, I want to watch you watch From Dusk Till Dawn.
I have not seen that.
Well, first of all, when you do watch it,
Bring the popcorn.
which is amazing. Don't read anything about it.
Oh, I won't.
Don't.
I don't even want you explaining to me what happens.
It's
Don't.
George Clooney,
And nope.
Tarantino.
And okay,
Yeah,
that's good enough. Thank you. The Tarantino means blood. And
Well, he
George-
didn't direct it. He's just in it.
Oh, does
Robert
he do that?
Rodriguez directed it.
Oh, I don't know him.
But it's he's kind of like one of Tarantino's like proteges.
Will I like it, Keith?
No.
Okay.
No, you won't. Let me mention this, please. Blue Chew. This is what you take when you don't want hassle. Am I going to get a proper boner tonight? Now, maybe you're having makeup sex, or maybe it's just hot as soccer balls outside, and you're just exhausted, and it's like, oh, I'm on a first date. I'm with somebody that's been with me for years. I'm going to be nervous if I can keep an erection. I know I can do the magic if I just have the erection. You chew one of these things, in 30, 45 minutes, you got your rager, and you can perform the way you were meant to. BlueChew.com. Promo code KATG allows you to try it for free. $5 shipping. BlueChew.com. Get your first shipment free. The promo code is KATG. Never do you go in like half soft. Oh, I can figure it out when I'm inside. Boom.
Oof.
You're a man. And by the way, that soft shit, you're not fooling nobody. They know you're squishing it, and it's disgusting. There's a stigma around this, I understand, but you just do it right through your computer. The doctor, who can't give these things away fast enough, is right there on the other side going, hey, tell me why you want this, because I do. And he goes, okay, good. You don't go to an actual doctor's office. Maybe I'll run into my friend to make up a disease that later I have to follow up on. No, it's the herpes
You
that
also-
went away. No,
That's the thing, actually. You know, I didn't really think about this. When you go to a doctor, you have to allot for that time in your life. So let's say you do want this to be more subtle. You have to maybe explain to your partner, where were you for 3 hours of that day? I went to the doctor. Is there something to worry about? No, but maybe I don't want to talk about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is on your computer.
You're going to enjoy this visit.
Right. Don't worry, everything's fine. In fact, everything's super good now.
Well, also, it's a weird thing where it's like, is he cheating on me with a doctor? Because since he's been going to see this doctor, things are so much better.
Yeah, so you don't have to go in this heat.
Right. Oh, it's you'll like it. You'll like it. That's all I can tell you. Blue Chew, BLUECHEW.com. Promo code is KATG. So you try it for free. It's better. It's cheaper. It's a faster choice. It's not some shady bodega buy that you don't know what you're getting. It's the same ingredients as Cialis and Viagra. It's the real deal. And if it's ruining your relationship and you're not doing anything about it, that's a shame. That's on you. All right. That's that. That's all I can tell you. Okay. By the way, when I went into...
Wait, did you like my movie reviews? Because I think I did it.
I want you to review every movie now.
But I think I got it dead on. Keith, Full Metal Jacket, that's one of your favorite movies, right?
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket could be the best war movie.
Okay. So, like I described it.
Better than Saving Private Ryan? You lost your mind.
Better than Saving Private Ryan.
No, not a chance.
Yeah, because at some point it's like, just send this fucking kid home. Like at one point it dragged on a little bit.
It's like, haven't you guys heard of radios? Like,
Right.
Come on.
Okay, sorry, you want to stay with your crew. You can't. Okay, 3 of your brothers died. Save your mom's life.
Oh my God, in 5 years I'm going to get this reference and it's going to be even funnier.
Justin, you can follow online, Justin Smith OKC on Twitter. If you want to see the thirst traps on Instagram, Justin Smith Comedy. That's the Instagram, and the website is the same, right?
Yes.
JustinSmithComedy.com.
Yeah.
New album.
Yeah.
It's out right now. It's called Inspired.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, man. I was hoping to get #1, but somebody released their album in front of me, and I kept having to watch your album stay at #1 and just watch mine just slowly creep back as all the legends came. It's like, we can't have Fat Tits staying up in the top 10. We gotta knock him out.
Ask me if I'm going to pick up yours.
Are you gonna pick up mine?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, my friend.
Joanne Sanders, who's watching us live on YouTube, is reminding me that's a romantic comedy, Overboard.
Right.
She gets
Yeah.
amnesia and gets tricked into being a slave.
Mm-hmm.
That's a romantic movie.
Well, it's funny to me when you mention the remake. And it's like, yeah, I just want to say it's a different time now, and it's probably problematic because, okay, then make the guy get amnesia.
Right.
Done. Next. Cats.
You guys, if you like this episode, share it so we could make more. Thank you for spreading the word.